If you got a lot out of that discussion, we're going to bring this gentleman to the stage. 0 to 2 million followers in under 12 months. Who here would like to have that happen to their brand? Exactly. So you're going to learn that right now from the gentleman who has Goya Toyota as his clients. Make some noise for Anthony Bertoncin.
I found this book called Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. I actually read it a year or two prior. And the main thing I got out of it is actually what led to me connecting with those entrepreneurs I showed you earlier. And because it changed my life so much, I decided to reread it. But this time, what stood out to me was how Gary Vee told me I was going to be a failure entrepreneur if I wasn't making videos on Musical.ly. And I really didn't blink an eye at Musical.ly. I just knew it as lip syncing, dancing, little trends, a bunch of immature stuff. I was really only focused on Instagram and YouTube. But I downloaded the platform because Gary said so. And I started doing exactly what I thought the platform was. Trends, lip syncing, stupid little videos. We have very e-boy looking Anthony on the screen now. And these are actually screenshots from the first 4 videos I ever made. But nothing worked. Until I did something nobody had ever done before. You see, everybody was focused on making these 15-second little videos on the platform. Nobody was doing anything else. So what did I do? Well, I had some crazy shit happen to me that week. So I decided to just pick up my phone and yap to the camera, which doesn't sound revolutionary. It's pretty common nowadays. But on TikTok, nobody actually was doing that. So I maxed out the video length at 60 seconds, did the complete opposite of what everybody was doing, and I got the most views I'd gotten in the previous 7 years of trying. Super sick thumbnail, by the way. And because it worked, I did it again the next day. Another great thumbnail. 110,000 views in the span of pretty much 24 hours. I think it resulted in maybe 2,000 followers. And that's when I had my first big lesson with social media. You see, the people that are winning on social media are the ones that are doing something that hasn't been done before. And there's 2 ways you can interpret that. One, it just hasn't been done before ever, period. It's revolutionary and you're a genius. You thought of an original idea. Or the way you can think about it is it hasn't been done before in that way on that specific platform. And that's more so what's applicable to me. So I want you guys to ask yourself, as you get into your content journey, what hasn't been done before in my niche or my industry up until now? What can I do differently? And we're going to come back to that question here in a second. You see, the same week that I was gaining all of this traction on social media, I found this video by Ryan Trahan. Some of you guys might know who he is. He has millions and millions of subscribers on YouTube. But essentially what he wanted to do was gain 1 million followers in a week on TikTok. Now, it sounds absolutely insane. And really, that was only possible in like 2018 TikTok. Now, I'll save you the time of watching the 2-hour-long series and essentially tell you that the first 3 days started off really slow. Like he was not going to hit his goal. But on day 4, he went on Twitter, he found a bunch of viral tweets in written format, and he decided to remake them in video format on TikTok. And now, like I said, I'll save you the time. He ended with 400,000 followers by the end of the week. Who here's life would be changed if they had 400,000 followers by this time next week? I think everybody should have their damn hand up right now. Your business would take off. You would start connecting with people you never thought imaginable. You could start pretty much any business and immediately have traction with it. And that's when I realized you don't need to reinvent the wheel to find success on social media, guys. You just need to steal other people's shit. Kind of. Specifically, what I'm talking about is the remix strategy. And now this is where you guys take your phones out because this is the core of what I'm going to be talking about over the next 20 more minutes, 30 more minutes. What is the remix strategy? The remix strategy is taking content that has already proven to go viral on social media and remixing it or making it better. Now, I even popped up 7 different examples on the screen so you guys can get a really good feel for what I'm talking about. Number 1, switching the production quality. If it was filmed with an Android in the middle of Kenya, film it with a 4K camera, get some good microphones. Or vice versa. If it was filmed really high production, film it with your iPhone. Number 2, give your take on the topic. If there's a topic you see repeatedly popping up right now, maybe it's masculinity in America, that's a proven topic. So make a video talking about it. Give your value, your information, your expertise, and upload the video. Number 3, we have adding additional context. This could be as simple as B-roll, captions, or effects. Or maybe there's a bunch of comments on the original video and the original creator did not elaborate fully. So maybe you make a video elaborating on those questions that people are asking in the comments. Number 4, you can change the tonality. If it's funny, make it serious, or if it's serious, make it super sad or something. Change the video structure. If it's a talking head video, make it a skit. Or maybe it's an educational piece of content that you can then turn into a reaction piece of content. Number 6, making it applicable to your industry. If you guys are watching videos on social media and you see just a very broad, funny, maybe Drewski skit, we're in a church, find a way to recreate the skit and make it applicable to your med spa, your roofing company, your e-commerce brand. And number 7, put it on another platform. This is exactly what I did and what Ryan Trahan did, and it's the strategy that I ended up coming up with for myself. This is literally verbatim the strategy that I started implementing on my TikTok that same week. I went on Reddit, I went to r/jokes, r/one-liners, and I found the top performing jokes. And I plugged them into the video structure that was starting to work for me, which is essentially story times. And now it's kind of hard to find story times that have actually happened to me that apply to these jokes that are performing well. So what did I do? Well, I started pulling 50-second stories completely out of my ass, leading up to that one viral, whether it's a one-liner, a punchline, or a joke. And now some of you guys may be able to guess what happened, but my very next story time, actually have a good thumbnail here, by the way, 554,000 views. It was my first quote-unquote viral video, or at least what I would consider viral, over 500,000. So obviously I doubled down on it. 3 days in a row, I had videos perform better than they had in the previous 7 years. So I became religiously consistent. 2 times a day, 2 p.m., 8 p.m., upload a video, go live after the 8 p.m. post for 3 hours, after the 3-hour live stream, respond to every possible comment I could, engaging people. By the end of month 2, I had 50,000 followers. Month 3, 100,000 followers. And by month 6, had 1 million followers. That's the actual screenshot. The second the ticker went over the million mark, somewhere below that, it actually says I was in the top 1,000 accounts on TikTok at the time, which is pretty crazy if you think about how many people are actually on TikTok. And that's a live stream I did the same night where I hit the milestone, got some balloons, some confetti cannons, celebrated with my friends and my family. And by the end of the first year committing to social media, I had about 2 million followers with my 3 main platforms. So, I was going so viral, I didn't even have to tell my friends I was making content. They just noticed. They saw the videos popping up on their For You page. Everybody was reaching out. I got recognized in public even. And businesses also started noticing. This is the first company that ever reached out to me for social media help. This is my buddy Joshua Steinberger, great friend of mine. He owns a roofing company in Kansas City, Missouri called Next Gen Restoration. And he offered me $4,000 to just make TikToks for his business like I was doing for my brand. Who here would like that gig? Super easy. You just got to make some short form videos, get handed $4,000. I said yes, again, without thinking about it. And like last time, I kind of fucked up. I didn't know shit about roofing. Like nothing. Dad didn't teach me to hold a hammer, let alone change a car tire, so roofing, I really jumped off the cliff, built a parachute on the way down in this situation. There's me with my little camera again. But I knew that I had a strategy that worked, as you guys just saw. So I dove into his business. I spent 5 days riding along with him, learning everything I could about roofing, insurance meetings, what different types of shingles are and shit. And I found the most viral opportunity within their business, and I implemented the Remix strategy. And within the next 90 days, they became the most popular roofing company on social media. 30 million views, 90 days for a random blue-collar company that most people probably wouldn't even care to listen to. 10,000 followers on pretty much every platform, millions and millions of views on every single video. Even started doing his wife's stuff. She wanted to do cooking. We got her 60,000 followers in the span of a month. And over the next 2 years, worked with pretty much every industry you guys can think of. Real estate, cooking, podcast, couples, plumbing, pest control, fitness, cosmetics, you name it, same exact result. Even a couple local businesses you guys might be familiar with, Overtime Men's Health and Tampa Entrepreneurs. Who here knows about Overtime? Yeah, that means I'm doing my job, good. In the first year of working with Overtime, they got over 50 million views, 150,000 followers, collaborations with Dan Bilzerian, huge celebrity, Alex Eubank, Tyler Herring, and a bunch of others, and helped generate over 7 figures in revenue, primarily driven from the organic content that we were producing. Camp Entrepreneurs we started with right before their last event at the Motor Enclave, had about 400,000 views, maybe 14,000 followers when we started, 10x the views first month, 4.5 million views, got them up to almost 25,000 followers and helped drive their most successful ticket launch to date. If you guys were there, you know there was a lot of people. That was all primarily because of the organic content and the social media. But before starting with any of these businesses, they all face the same problem. You see, 73% of businesses are unconfident in their marketing strategy. They don't know what to make, they don't know how to make it, they don't think they have the time to make it, and most of them even fail to define a clear message. So how are we gonna fix this? Well, I want it to be applicable to everybody in this room. I want you guys, like I said, to be able to go home and implement this shit tonight. So we're gonna break down exactly what I did with Overtime Men's Health to not only take their business from a brick and mortar in the outskirts of Tampa to a nationwide 7-figure telehealth company, but what we helped do with Julian and Jacob's personal brands to also turn them into industry-leading personalities. First 3 things you guys gotta figure out, okay? Who's gonna be in the content, who's your target demographic, and what is the messaging going to be for your brand? Number 1, founder-led content. If you're a personal brand, obviously you're gonna be in your own content. I don't know why you would not. But if you're a business, please God, don't plug a spokesperson in there. Overtime came to me, they wanted a 6-year-old guy in a lab coat with limp dick to be the spokesperson. Can you guys imagine if they did that? None of you guys would be going to a sick party with a lion next week. That's for damn sure. Next, who's your target demographic? For them, it's pretty much every guy on the planet at this point, but specifically men aged 21 to 50 with low testosterone and performance issues. And lastly, what is your messaging? This is where I bring up that question I mentioned earlier. What hasn't been done before? Okay, with Overtime in the men's health medical field, really boring. It's textbooks, it's lab coats, it's a bunch of health information that really nobody cares to listen to. So what did we do? Well, we decided to make not so politically correct content that's super entertaining, complete opposite of what everybody else was doing, but still make it slightly educational, but mainly fun. And the reason we did that was because of this quote right here. The internet rewards the loud, not the talented. The clever, not the consistent. Although consistency definitely helps, and I'm gonna stress that, just like Ryan mentioned that earlier. Perfect example of this is Andrew Tate. Whether you guys like him or hate him, this guy's loud. Every video he makes pisses off half the people that watch the content and makes the other half the people love him. And that's exactly what every single one of you guys should strive for with the videos you're making. It's how you're gonna find your community, it's how you're gonna build your brand. And he's clever. He did something nobody had ever done before with content marketing. He had a subscription community where he taught kids to make money. And one of the ways he taught them to make money was by essentially having an affiliate code and getting kids to sign up for his community. And the number one way he taught them to drive traffic to this community was taking his long-form content, cutting it up, making fan pages of him, and distributing the content on the fan pages. And as you guys can tell, everybody in here knows who Andrew Tate is, it worked. So once you have the first 3 things figured out, the next thing we're gonna do is come up with your content pillars. This is what I was gonna briefly talk about earlier, but I'm gonna elaborate on it now. If you're a business, this is essentially your most popular services, okay? With Overtime, peptides, P-shot, erectile dysfunction, testosterone, weight loss, NAD+. If you're a personal brand, it's going to be essentially areas of your personality. With me, it's business, it could be my relationship, my faith, traveling, videography, photography, fitness, the list goes on. I need you to pick 5. And I really need you to pay attention because this is the exact strategy that I implement with every client that works with us. So, it's important. Once you have your 5, you're gonna come up with 5 broad keywords for each of those 5. It's gonna add up to about 25 keywords. The reason you're doing this is because we're gonna use this for content research, so we know what we're gonna post moving forward. Once you have that established, I want you to pick model accounts, okay? These are accounts that you like, respect, or would want to model your brand off of. Essentially, the best way you can think about it is if you were happy with these 10 being if your brand was a mix of these 10, would you be happy with the 10 you're choosing, essentially? With Overtime, it could be Gary Brecka with 10X Health. It could be Andrew Huberman. Anybody that really talks about men's health or fitness content would be something that we could potentially put up here. We're also going to use these for the content research. Now, I want to remind you guys what we're doing with the research we're going to be essentially taking advantage of with these keywords and these model accounts. The remix strategy, okay? Finding videos that we can specifically remix. Popped it up again so you guys could also take a photo of it if you missed it earlier. But we're finding videos that we can remix. Now, getting into the actual research strategy, how are we going to use these keywords? How are we going to use these model accounts? What are we going to do with them? Most of my team I've trained use TikTok and Instagram. I feel like all of social media culture kind of stems from those 2 platforms, so that's where we're going to start. We're going to search our model accounts on TikTok, one by one, and now TikTok loves us, gives us amazing features for content research, one of those being this simple little tool that lets you filter by the most popular content on a person's page. Obviously, we have my page up there with those shitty thumbnails again, but once you have it all organized, I want you going through these top performing videos and figuring out what's working for this creator. What are the video structures? What are the hooks? What are the topics? How are they filming their content? For example, my top video, 15 million views on my TikTok page, is me using some green screen effect. Maybe you use the green screen effect for the hook of your video. And now, with the keywords, you're gonna one by one search the keywords on the TikTok Explore page. And again, TikTok loves us. They give us this great feature in the top right-hand corner, those 3 little dots. Once you click those, you can filter by the like count of all time. Essentially, you can search the word gym, filter, and see the most viral gym content on the platform since it was created. Insanely powerful tool. And now I want you going through these videos again and finding ways to remix this top performing content because it's already proven to work. So as long as you can find a way to make it applicable to your brand, you have a really solid chance of that video performing well. Same thing with Instagram, model accounts, and keywords. However, Instagram hates us. I don't really like Meta. I'm not a fan of Meta. They do not give creators anything whatsoever that's really beneficial. But I'm gonna give you guys a hack. You search your model accounts on desktop, there's this Chrome extension called Sort Feed. It's like $40, I don't own it, although I wish I did. It essentially lets you filter by most viewed to least viewed video, so it's a workaround. It's a $40 one-time payment, I think. I do not get an affiliate commission. I literally am telling you this because I use it every day. And again, you can see the most viral videos on a person's page. Mine, 50 million, 50 million, 20 million, 20 million. And I want you to find videos to remix. Same thing with the keywords. However, we do not have that filter method, although AI is now implemented with search on Instagram. So it actually does show you relevant content that has performed well. I would focus on anything with maybe over 1 million views, as I have circled on the screen. But I do not want you to just pick every video that's gone viral. Specifically, what I want you looking for is standout content. This is another important screen, and this is what separates the men from the boys here, okay? Standout content are videos that get significantly more views than the creator's average. So, do a quick exercise. Who in here is actively making content on social media? Let me get a raise of hands. Okay, got you in the front. How many followers do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Any platform? 3,800. So if our friend here, who's gonna have 3 million followers soon, posts a video that gets 3,800 views, that's pretty normal, because he has 3,800 followers, so that's kind of expected. It's not anything crazy. But if he gets a video that gets 500,000 views all of a sudden, that's a standout piece of content. That's significantly more than his average, and that's a piece of content that I'm gonna study and I'm gonna potentially use to remix. So, going back to this screen now, we have the black box removed. For each of your 25 keywords, I want you finding 5 video structures, 5 things you could remix. Sounds like a lot, but if you search those keywords on Instagram and TikTok, you're gonna have hundreds of viral videos pop up that you can choose from. And what's crazy about this is when you do that simple task, which takes maybe 3 to 4 hours on a given night, you'll have 125 already proven viral video ideas that you can test now over the next 3 to 6 months that are also standout pieces of content. That's what I want a majority of you guys to focus on moving forward after today. For the next 3 to 6 months, this is what I want you doing. And like I said, this is what I've done with every single client in every industry, and every one of them has gone viral, as long as they have worked with us for more than 30 days. Not a single client has not had viral videos using this strategy. So, Anthony, but how do we turn the people watching into paying customers? Because that's important, right? Content's just for fun unless it's paying us. We have to have a job one way or another. That's where the next layer comes in. Content styles. In those first 3 to 6 months, you guys are gonna find out what starts working for you. You're gonna know when I talk about masculinity, it works. When I film skits, they go viral. You're gonna see what feels natural to you to film. You're gonna see what the audience starts resonating with. So you're gonna know what works. And hopefully you're gonna have a library or some sort of documentation of that. Now I want you to take what's working, and I want you to plug them into these 6 content styles. These are the 6 content styles that everybody in here should be making, whether you're a personal brand or a business. I'm gonna walk through them. Educational content. This is anything that's educating an audience. If we're using overtime, it could be, common mistakes with injecting your TRT. Myths versus facts, step-by-step tutorials, anything that's just educating somebody is an educational piece of content. Double down content. This is my favorite. And it's also something we asked on the panel. It's something Ryan hinted at earlier. This is now where you're gonna remix your own shit. So now we know what's working. We're gonna take what's working, and we're gonna remix our own videos. We can do that as many times as we want, but we're gonna change the title, upload it. We're gonna add music, we're gonna upload it. We're gonna change the first frame of the video and add a different piece of B-roll in there, and we're gonna upload it. Anytime you're making those small little tweaks and reposting it, that is a double down piece of content. Entertainment content is next. Anything that's just purely entertainment. This is your skits, your trends, stitch content, reaction content, could be your lifestyle edits. Then we have storytelling. This could be doing what I did, just telling stories, holding your phone up, and talking to the camera. Or if you're a business owner, I want you doing exactly what's on the screen. Turning what we're doing on a regular basis into something that's consumable online. If we go back to that roofing company I mentioned earlier, I'll give you guys some sauce. The structure that specifically worked for them is when we mic'd up their door-to-door sales guys, had a hidden camera in the car, and we just turned their door-to-door sales pitches into videos. This was, honestly, I don't want to admit that we're the first people to ever do that in the blue-collar space, but I'm pretty confident that we were. And that's why it went so viral. So whether we were there or not making content, they were going to have to do that. And now they can do what they were going to do already, but we're making videos out of it, and those videos are also going viral. So, what I said earlier, if you guys can analyze your business, find where is the most entertaining part of this, and find a way to get somebody to follow you around, mic you up, and literally just document what you're doing and explain it to somebody as if they don't know anything about your business, just very broadly. That's storytelling content. Authority content could be case studies, personal transformations, client transformations. Another example is if I woke up this morning, which I did, like, come with me to speak in front of 400 people on stage, blah, blah, blah. That's an authority piece of content because it establishes me as an authority within my respective industry. Like I said, you could also do case studies, personal transformations, client transformations, etc. And lastly, series content. I lied to you guys earlier. Okay, I'm going to apologize. When I mentioned that it was only possible in 2018 to get 1 million followers in like a week or in 6 months even, I lied. It's also right now on Instagram with series content. Maybe you guys have seen that little Asian kid that is door dashing every day until he can buy his wife a wedding ring, or another girl named, I think, Reagan Lynch. She went through a breakup like a year ago and is like, day one of restarting my entire life after a bad breakup. She has 800,000 followers in the last 10 months because of that series. And that DoorDash kid, well, he started 30 days ago. He's at 250,000 followers. So, analyze your business, analyze your life, figure out where you can start a series. I don't care if it's a 30-day challenge, day one of X, Y, and Z, or welcome back to this, or that. But find a way to start a series, and if you can, make it something people can get invested into. They can get attached to, they can feel like they're a part of. You guys have seen Jacob's content from Overtime he does. Welcome back to trying it so you don't have to, where I've injected myself with 10,000 things, and here's how I react to it, essentially. But it works. And now, once you guys understand the content styles, this might seem a little complex, but I'm going to break it down very simply. This is the marketing awareness funnel. If you guys were at the last event, I think Brian also mentioned this. It's super applicable to whether it's organic content or paid in, back-end content. It's essentially how aware somebody is of what you do with your business. We're talking unaware pieces of content. Using Overtime as an example, this is anything where we talk about men's health. Just very broad, it's kind of the overarching topic, but that's an unaware piece of content. Problem-aware content is where we introduce a problem. This could be limp dick, this could be low testosterone, whatever it may be, as long as you're admitting and talking about a problem, that is a problem-aware piece of content. Solution-aware is where we mention come to Overtime to fix your low testosterone. We let them know that, hey, that's a problem that we solve here at our business. Product-aware, testosterone replacement therapy, obviously that's what solves the problem in the first place, so anytime where I'm mentioning in a video that solves that, that is a product-aware piece of content. And lastly is what I call the ad level. This is the most aware. This is essentially where I tell you guys, if you have low testosterone, you're feeling this, or that, come to Overtime Men's Health where we have testosterone replacement therapy that we're going to give you to fix your problem. And now that may sound like a blatant ad, like there's no way that performs well. Well, fun fact, all of our top videos with Overtime are most aware pieces of content. They're literally ads. Go look at our top one, it's 20 million plus views on Instagram, literally an ad. It's a stitched piece of content, and then we literally just talk about our business and what we do after that for 60 seconds. And it resulted in a ton of leads, organically. So, before I pop this entire strategy up on the screen for you guys, I want to go over the 2 biggest mistakes I see everybody making right now. Post to every goddamn social platform, please, Jesus. I used to do the posting myself, and as I mentioned earlier, I know that it takes 2 to 3 minutes max to post to each of these platforms. 10 to 15 minutes total, 15 if you're going slow. But the reason I say this is because if you're spending the time to make a piece of content, we want that piece of content to do the best it possibly can. If you're not posting everywhere, you're totally ruining your chances of that happening. You guys don't like me scolding you about it. Here's a live example. I have a client, real estate agent here in the area, that made a video essentially talking about why you shouldn't talk shit while touring a house. You need to wait till you leave the house. The whole gist of the video is that the Ring doorbell, the homeowner, caught the home buyer talking shit about his property and didn't sell the home to him. 10,000 views on Instagram, 21 million views on Facebook. Same video, no changes, just 2 to 3 extra minutes of work. Who here is actively posting on Facebook? Be brutally honest with me. Not even 5% of you guys. The rest of you could be Facebook famous right now and you wouldn't know. Spend the 2 to 3 minutes, post to every platform. Next, we have trial reels. Ryan stressed this a lot. He gets super, super excited when we talk about trial reels, and so do I, because other than series content, it's the biggest opportunity online right now. Since 2018 TikTok, trial reels, series content. Those are what you should be focusing on. These are the 3 ways you should be utilizing trial reels. The first isn't necessarily applicable to everybody, but I thought I would mention it. You guys maybe already have a little bit of a following. You can transition niches by using trial reels. You used to have to make a new account. Say I grew a bunch of followers doing comedy, and now I want to make educational health content. Most of those comedy followers probably aren't going to care about that content. So I used to have to probably make a new account unless I was just a genius on transitioning. Now you can upload all of your educational content to trial reels where your followers specifically do not see it. And over time, you can slowly bring in people that care about that content. And then, like I said, over time, you're going to establish enough of a foundation to where you can just post that content normally again. So it's actually pretty cool. Number 2 is what everybody should be doing. And we've talked about this a lot today. If you guys are going to get anything out of today, focus on what all of the speakers are mentioning time and time again. Hook testing. Like I said, if we're spending time making a video, we want that video to do well. Otherwise, if you're paying somebody, you're wasting money. Or if you're not paying somebody, you're wasting your time. Make 3 different hooks of every single video. Takes, like I said, another extra 5 to 10 minutes to add music, change the title simply, change the first clip of the video. Those are 3 really small examples that take no time. You can upload all 3 variations to trial reels, and after 48 to 72 hours, see what performs the best, and then share it to your audience after the fact. Super powerful. And over time, you're going to figure out what really works a lot faster than if you have to compete against the person that's not utilizing trial reels. And lastly, double downs. I already went over what this is, so you guys know what it is. I don't have to explain it again. But if you're doing double down content, remixing your own stuff, really you can only do it a couple times a month before your followers are like, why is this guy posting the same content for the 5th time this week? Good thing about trial reels is they don't see it. So you can double down 10 times a week if you want on every single video that's performed well for you. Now guys, that's the whole strategy, okay? It was a lot, but you scan this QR code. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to get your email and your phone number. I'm going to sign up for some nudie websites or something. And then I'm going to give you guys this document. Kidding, I'm not going to give you the document. But if you scan it, you download it, it's going to essentially be everything that I talked about today just on one form. And I kind of laid it out how you guys should focus on it. Content pillars first, keywords, model accounts. That's your first 3 to 6 months. As I mentioned, please only focus on that part for the next 3 to 6 months until you figure out what's consistently working for you. After that is when you start making your own kind of custom content based on what's already working for you, and you utilize the content styles and the marketing awareness funnel. The great thing about those 2 is they're all interchangeable. You can make an ad level piece of content that is entertaining. It could be an authority content. It could be a series. Every single one of them is interchangeable with the other one. And now that's it from me, guys. Now we know what to create. We know how to create it. We have the time to create it. I didn't really talk about how to create the content, but realistically, everybody has YouTube and ChatGPT, and if you can't figure that out nowadays, you're too far gone. And we have a clear message defined. So, that being said, you guys have questions about anything that I mentioned today, scan that top QR code. It'll take you to my Instagram where you can ask me those questions if you don't get the chance of talking with me outside after this. And if for some reason you really just do not have the time or you don't even want to deal with this, but you know you need to be doing it, scan that second QR code, set up a 15-minute discovery call with me personally where we're going to go over how I can implement this strategy specifically with your business, as well as a bunch of other marketing services you may need. I appreciate you tremendously. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I really hope you guys go implement this because I'm not lying when I say that this is what we do with every single client. If you sign up, even if you scan that second QR code, you sign up with me in a week, this is what I'm doing with you. And I'm giving it to you for free to go implement yourselves. And in 6 to 12 months, if you do exactly what I said, your lives could be completely changed. And I hope you also scan that top QR code so you can come tell me about it later. I appreciate you. I look forward to chatting.